Yo, it's JSF, and this video is going to be very different from most of the videos I do. Probably a lot shorter too, but I want to talk about what NRS and what the Mortal Kombat 11 team specifically should do next. And now I know I've made videos and about like what it seems like that something is coming, right? You see like the voice actors, you see like things kind of just seeming like it's time for another announcement, more content, more something coming to this game, right? But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about what should be the next step. What should come after this game, right? And I know the natural idea or mindset is, well, yeah, MK12 or Injustice 3, right? That's what's coming next. But I'm talking about something completely different. When I say what NRS and what this team should do next, I mean very specifically. I mean the people who made this game, right? And I myself, if you guys have been around on the channel for a while, and even if you haven't, I think you've been able to figure out that I have my gripes with this game. I don't think it's a good fighting game whatsoever. I think it's a terrible fighting game. Probably the worst fighting game I've ever played, but the IP is great, right? Mortal Kombat's a great IP. The universe is great. The characters are cool. The game looks amazing. There are some good things about this game. So this studio is not terrible. They're not completely like incompetent in the sense of making a video game. They probably shouldn't have just been making the next mainline installment of a fighting game, right? And trying to kind of pass it off as a game that can be competitive, having a pro series, etc. like that. So with that in mind, I was just sitting around and I kind of had an idea. And I was like, I think I get it. I think I know exactly what they could do. It would make all of us happy. I think there is a possible happy ending to all of this. Something that most of the fans have wanted for a long time. Something that like would literally be like, you know what? This is a perfect split. It's a happy divorce. And I think what this team should do is work on a Shaolin Monks game. Now, the reason I've got my reasons for saying this, right? And I'll promise I'll make it make sense. We've wanted a Shaolin Monks remake, Shaolin Monks HD, for 10 plus years now, right? We've been saying it since like the Injustice 1 days. Ed Boon has heard the fans. He's mentioned it. He said he would love to do it one day. There was a sequel planned called Fire and Ice about Sub-Zero and Scorpion. It never happened. The story mode actually has a reference to it. Chapter 3, I think, is Shaolin Monks, and then Chapter 4 is Fire and Ice. I know that because I've unlocked Frost like 20 times, and that's the chapter you got to beat. Now, why this team in the studio would be really good for a Shaolin Monks game is because, well, if you look at it, the game looks great, right? The game looks great. And if you look at like something like the Crypt mode, right? The Crypt is kind of set up like an action adventure game, kind of set up like an RPG. It's not a fighting game at all. You're running around, it's free roam, you can die, you can fall into hazards and traps, you can swing your Shao Kahn hammer around. Now, it doesn't have a combat system in place in the Crypt or anything like that, and it's a lot more slow paced because of what it's supposed to be. It's more puzzle solving and finding things than fighting, but I definitely think the Crypt mode could be retooled into like an action adventure game, like into a game like Shaolin Monks, right? I think it could really be retooled into that. I think that's a really good proof of concept to show somebody and say, hey, look, we can take this idea, expand it, blow it up, blah, 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 blah. Not to mention this game, like I said, it looks great, right? The characters look great, the character models, they've got interesting moves, whether they're good or not, whether they're annoying or not, right? And I think something that was interesting about the original Shaolin Monks was there was a versus mode, right? There was a versus mode in Shaolin Monks, but there are only 8 playable characters, and you had to unlock most of them, right? So it wasn't like balancing wasn't really a thing. It didn't really like have to exist. And like this is where it gets into why they shouldn't be handling this game and they should be handling that game, because the things that they really struggled with Mortal Kombat 11 would not really be a big issue, because this game, let's be honest, Mortal Kombat 11 was made to appeal to casuals. It was made to sell well. It was made to be marketed well, make a lot of money, which it did, right? And casuals like it and casuals play it. And if you play this game at a casual level, you can still have fun. Like this game, if you're not playing this game seriously, and I don't even mean seriously in the sense that you're trying to win, because my goal playing fighting games is not just win, 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 but that's how you have to be in this game to win consistently. Mine is to learn, to get better, to enjoy high level competitive play, but this game wasn't really made for that. But if you take the competitive Mortal Kombat, you know, fighting game part away from it, and you just bring the casual side of it and throw it into a different game, hell, I'd have a blast down to people into oblivion with Jade if it was in a party game, right? Like I always say, this game is Mario Party. It's like a party game, not a game to be taken seriously. If you're making an action RPG style of game, yeah, you want it to have like difficulty, you want it to, you know, be fun, you want it to make sense, you want it to have some kind of complexity to it, but it's not supposed to be as complex as a competitive fighting game. You're not going down to the frame. Is this punishable on block? Is this +2? None of that shit matters. Like you literally get to design the game differently. And I think a lot of stuff in this game would work in that type of a setting. Not to mention if the main story or the main, you know, focus of the game is the co-op or single player story mode, that's the bulk of the game, the versus mode isn't going to be a full roster, right? Like Shaolin Monks on the PS2 or whatever other consoles it was on, I played it on PS2. It only had 8 playable characters, so you're probably going to have 4 playable characters to start with. I would say they probably max out at like 12 characters or something. Probably throw a little bit more. You know what I mean? And it's not like the characters are designed to be balanced. They're designed to be played for fun. And I think the people who made this game, I think they kind of figured out, hey, this looks cool. This looks interesting. Wow, it would be crazy if this character could do that. And that works in that environment. It just doesn't work in this environment. In this environment where we want to play seriously, we want to be rewarded for our good decision making and making reads. We want it to be a fighting game. Like I say all the time, this isn't like a serious fighting game. It doesn't feel like a fighting game because it doesn't follow the fighting game principles and fundamentals, and you lose for being a good fighting game player. But none of that would matter if it was just a versus mode of the Shaolin Monks game. And I know what some of y'all may be thinking, well, if the team who makes Mortal Kombat, the main team who made this game makes Mortal Kombat, if they go off and just say, yeah, we're going to do Shaolin Monks 2 or Shaolin Monks HD remake or whatever they're going to do with it, then who the hell is going to make Mortal Kombat? Does that mean we just don't get a Mortal Kombat? We don't get Injustice? We don't get that anymore? All we get is Shaolin Monks? No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we should have an entirely different studio who makes fighting games make Mortal Kombat 12 or Injustice 3. My vote is for Iron Galaxy, but let me know who y'all vote is for. I really think it would be cool if they either hired a new studio or outsourced the work, let another studio do it, because let's be honest, man, the way this game has gone from release week 1 where they had to do an emergency patch, emergency combat cast, I think a month or 2 after launch they had to do a netcode patch, which I think ruined the game, by the way, and everybody forgot about it. They've been fumbling the bag with this game since launch, but somehow they still got the bag because we all bought it. I think it would be cool if this was Shaolin Monks, not this game specifically. Obviously things would need to be retooled, some things would need to be changed, but if I never looked at this game through a serious lens, I'd probably enjoy it a lot more. If I never looked at it as competitive and with a ranked online mode, if I never like played any of that, you know, I think I would have more fun. And another thing is if it was to be like a Shaolin Monks remake today or a new game today, I think the combat style could be more like 2D focused, because in the when Shaolin Monks came out, it was a 3D era of Mortal Kombat, so the combat in the versus mode was just like the story mode, 3D running around doing all kind of crazy shit. And you can have a mode like that, but I think it would be interesting to have like a 2D style versus mode in a 3D action adventure open world type of game. I don't know, I just think it would be super dope, but let me know what y'all think. Do y'all disagree? Would y'all be here for Shaolin Monks 2 or Shaolin Monks remake? Are y'all here for another studio making Mortal Kombat? Like I said, I vote Iron Galaxy. If you guys keep the talented artists, you know, the graphic designers and all that shit that you have for this game, but you have the minds of Iron Galaxy, if I can have Keats make Mortal Kombat, oh my god, that would be amazing. Anyway, I'm kind of just drooling over possibilities now, but I hope y'all enjoyed the video. If y'all do, please subscribe to the channel. I appreciate all the love. Y'all stay safe. I'm gonna get up out of here. JSF. Peace.